number one, the doctors and the pills and the medicine is not going to really help us that much, because our ancestors years and years ago that lived to older than many years to go, and they never had that kind of a attachment to medication. So I believe in medication is good. The doctors are fine, of course, but humor, once you have pains in your body, no matter how much cream you put on or how many pills you take, the pain is still there. But if you have humor, you could just look in the mirror and say to yourself, who are you? I don't remember you. I'm not going to shave you today. That's not me.
Hello and welcome to Along the Way Life's Journey. I'm your host, Carl Buccellato. As usual, we're back with a wonderful show. Today we have somebody who requires no introduction at all. You all know him. He's Rudy's best friend. Everybody knows Rudy's best friend. He also happens to be known by many, many different names. We'll get into that in a moment. Why is he known by all those names? Anyway, here is a wonderful guy. I've known him all my life, all his life, actually, not my life, because my life is a little longer than his life, but he's my younger brother. He's my kid brother. Look at that guy. He's my kid brother, my brother Joe. This is the Chaplain Giuseppe Buccellato. Joe,
Hello.
Welcome back to the show, Joe.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Back once again by popular demand, because the first show that you did had so many people saying, that was such a funny show, such a great show. It showed such a great experience of brotherly love. But there was also that crazy guy who told all those funny stories with big hands in front of the screen. We want to talk to him again. So
first of all, you're not going to see my big hands because I'm not going to put them in front of the screen. I'm going to keep them in my lap this time because this way I could talk and you won't see my motions.
Then you're only going to get half the bucks.
But it's so nice being on your show again, Carl. It's a pleasure. And I've been watching all the people that you've been interviewing, and the guy, the real Top Gun guy, for instance, he was amazing, and all the other people that you have. And one at a time, I'm telling you, I am so inspired and so full of heartwarming love for you that you do this for the people.
Thank you.
Make them understand that you're doing it for the purpose of bringing God into your show. And I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. The theme of my show is that along the way, one life's journey, and it represents along my way, my life. On my journey of life, I've met so many people that have inspired me and motivated me with their stories. And I want them to come on the show and talk to other people to motivate them also. Because I know that I'm a bigger man than I would have been without knowing those people. Those people made me more than I am. You made me more than I am. And I know that. And I want the world to know that we can each enrich each other with that same gift if we just take the time and share. That's the important part. That's the thing that's meaningful in this world. So, Joe, yesterday you celebrated a big day.
Oh, yeah, my anniversary, 19 years.
19 years. How does it feel to be married 19 years?
Well, it was like the day I started getting married. Every day was a blessing. Every day is a new success and a new journey. The only thing is, in marriage, in my opinion, is that if you think of the other one before you think of yourself, it'll always work.
Right.
But you got to have the right partner, because your partner's got to think of you before she thinks of herself. And that's the only way it gels and makes sense, and everything will blossom.
So let's take a pause right here a moment and identify Joe's right partner is my sister-in-law, his wife, Lydia, for 19 years. Beautiful, lovely lady who made him more than he is. Before she met him, he was a little bit of a guy. He was only 4 foot tall. But now, look at him. He's a big guy.
You know why? Because she had a water can. She watered me every day. And I kind of sprout little by little.
That's why my plants are growing in the back.
Fingers now. But anyway, it's a great journey. And I tell you the truth, I'm happy I'm on it. But like anything else, everybody's journey is only planned by our Lord, thy God. And I'm just so happy that she understands that my main person is our Lord, thy God. She will come second to me because I got to think of her before me, but she could never be first in my heart, and she knows that. And a lot of people know that, and a lot of women know that, and a lot of men know that about their women, because It's just a spirit that you have that you can't
Right.
do nothing about. It's just
Right.
the grace of God is unbelievable. And the way God works in so many ways, it's amazing. For instance, my friend Bobby Palermo, you know that singer, my
Yes,
great,
I know Bobby well.
and I'll tell you what, he's going to do a benefit for Smile Faith. It's in a ballroom and everything, a black tie affair. And I had him introduce him to Dr. Michael O'Connor. He's our vice president of Smile Faith.
Okay, pause. Tell the people what Smile Face is, in case
Well,
they don't know.
The Smile Faith is it's a corporation that helps all the veterans out. In other words, you know, guys, old guys, and they're all on veterans. They did their job in the world to take care of the country, and they never lose that. But the only thing is, what they're losing now is their teeth, little by little, as they're growing older, as we all do.
Right.
You know, and the thing is, they can't afford to go to the dentist. I mean, it's unbelievable. Years ago, the price of a dentist today, we could have bought a home somewhere. I mean,
That's
it's
right.
ridiculous. So what happens is Smile Faith, the owner of Smile Faith, the founder of Smile Faith, Thomas Lane, he's a chaplain himself, he made it possible for us guys to have a great way to see dentists and take care of half of our bill. And which was a great thing. And it's gotten to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's so big now that we're having a ball about it, a real ball with Bobby Palermo playing his Neil Diamond situation.
Yeah.
But besides that, Dr. Mike told me yesterday that he's having all the pastors that he knows from all around this area to have a benefit for them, to have Bobby sing his Christian songs for them. So every one of them is going to have Bobby in their churches to show and spread the word of Jesus and bring people to the Lord. Because if you don't know the Lord and you didn't really believe in the Lord, because a lot of people, oh, I don't see him, but he's there. It's the way you have your kindness towards other people. Kindness is so important. When you show kindness, it's like showing love, because no matter what country we're in,
Right.
what language we speak,
Right.
we only have to smile at someone in a different country and they know we're kind people.
That's right. So you do a lot of activist things now. You spread the word. You give people information about Jesus. I know you have your business card that you give out to everybody. You're become really an activist, an evangelist who goes out and tells people, you know, the word. Tell them the word, because we're coming towards end time. So you tell them the word, and I'm proud of you for doing that. I really am.
Well, what we're doing is what I'm doing is I'm listening to Jesus. Jesus said, go and spread the word. Walk, go here and go here. Be my apostles. Be my voice for me.
Yeah.
You know, Jesus had said that to us. Jesus was so enlightening by teaching us the Our Father, teaching us how to pray. Once you learn how to pray and you say the Our Father every morning, your whole life is perfect. You know, it's not how many things you own to make you a powerful person. It's who you are that makes you a powerful person.
You're right.
And if you could only be a powerful person if you really believe in the person that made you, the
Absolutely.
Lord thy God. I mean, I could go
Absolutely.
on and on, but I know you want to talk about a lot of different things. But
Yeah,
you know,
we're going to
your
talk
show
about.
is basically about Christian people.
Right.
And I tell you one thing: the reason why I'm even coming on again is because I'm on your team, Carlo.
I know.
Not because I love you as my brother, but I'm on your team because we're both bragging, actually, that Jesus is the answer.
That's right. That's right. You're
And I
absolutely
once
right.
said, I have to say one more thing in life. It's not, you know, a lot of people, oh, I know him, I know this guy, I know this. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. And who knows you is our Lord thy God.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely right. So we're going to get into a couple of different things.
Good.
We're going to chat a little bit. First of all, we're going to address this issue about why you have so many names. I mean, you're known as Chaplain Giuseppe Buccellato. You're Joe Bucci. You're the Josh. You're Don Beep. You're Don Giuseppe. You got a ton of different names. And for those of you out there who don't know who Don Beep is, this is Don Beep right here. See Don Beep? That's Don Beep, otherwise known as Pagliacci. Downbeat. That's it.
Yeah.
Downbeat.
It's very good to be an opera singer. There's no doubt about that.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So that's
Why do I
because
have
you're a
your
very
question is-
funny. You have all these names because you're a very funny guy, and over the years you've had a lot of different personas, and you've acted out in funny ways in different venues with different people, and you've really been a stalwart of amusement to a lot of people with some of your stories. At times when it seems desperate and really, I've had that myself. In times when I feel like the worst thing in the world that day, I think about you and telling some of the stories. Rudy is always number one, but there's a story that you tell for years and years about this little Italian guy who starts work in a factory and he don't know what to order for lunch. And you tell the story about the sandwiches that he eats. And it just makes me laugh over and over again because you have a way of delivering it that just brings joy. So
you know what it is, Carl? I hate to cut you short, but this is what it is.
you work
It's
alone.
not that I'm really funny. It's not that I'm really funny. It's that I finally realized, being my age now, which is a couple of years younger than you,
Right.
that number one, the doctors and the pills and the medicine is not going to really help us that much because our ancestors, years and years ago, that lived to older than many years to go, and they never had that kind of attachment to medication. So I believe in medication is good. The doctors are fine, of course, but humor, once you have pains in your body, no matter how much cream you put on or how many pills you take, the pain is still there. But if you have humor and you could just look in the mirror and say to yourself, who are you? I don't remember you. I'm not going to shave you today. That's not me. You got to laugh at yourself in the morning.
Absolutely.
You got to start.
Where'd that old man come from?
I mean, I looked at this guy in the mirror the other day, which I'm shaving him. I said, you look like a road map of Grand McNally. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean because more and more I look in the mirror. It used to be I'd look in the mirror and I'd see our mother. Now I look in the mirror and I see her father. It's even worse.
When you get to Grandpa's cell.
Oh, boy.
I know what you mean. But the thing is, we can't do anything about that. But we all knew at one time when we were kids, we were growing up, we all knew that living in the world, we have a certain age to live. I'm going to live to 100. I'm going to live to 98. I'm going to be a carpenter. I'm going to be a pilot. Everybody knew how long they were going to live, a number. But that's only in this world. Because when this world is finished and we depart from here and arrive in the next world, then we don't need a number anymore.
Right.
And you know what? We won't need any doctors, any pills, any heart, any pains, any this, any cream or anything like nothing. Because our spirit will still be there. And I want my spirit in my next world, which I know Jesus will be in as well, to be a joyful spirit, to be happy. That's why my humor comes out of me. I can make myself laugh and I could just sit down. I can't even move. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, some people want to give me the coat and tie my arms. Wait a minute. Here's the bus now. But you know what I'm saying, Carl? It's so true, though. It's so true that if you don't realize that you got to start yourself off happy. If you're not happy, as soon as you leave the bathroom in the morning to do your first day, whatever it is to do, you're going to be sad no matter what you're doing. Even if it's a good day and even everything goes smooth, you get the sale you want or whatever, the coupon worked or whatever. But it's still not bringing you joy that only your joy could come out of you.
Right.
That's what I figured.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
the more you do that, the more you're a happy-go-lucky guy.
Absolutely.
But I do tell jokes. I like telling jokes.
Well, tell us one now.
Well, I can't tell you a joke that I really want to tell you.
No, don't do that.
No, I'll tell you that joke. No. But there's so many things in the world that make people laugh.
So I was watching. You ever watch Shark Tank?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other night they had these groups on Shark Tank, and they invented this spray with a natural silicone in it. It's not chemicals, natural, that you can spray along the base of your house that doesn't allow insects or rodents to get in the house. not because it repels them, but because it's so slick they can't climb on it. They slide off it. So I was thinking of you with your bird feeder and the pole, and I said, I got to get him a can of that stuff for the pole on his bird feeder.
You know what? I have a 12-foot pole in the backyard that I use the hook to take off the bird feeder, but the squirrels want to go up the pole.
Right.
So I got a little jar of Vaseline, and I put the Vaseline half from the ground halfway up the pole. And I watch from my porch in the backyard. They try to climb up, and it's so funny the way they just fall backwards.
Yeah.
They can't climb. They're sliding all the way down, but they want that seed.
Yeah.
So when the birds are on top eating it and all the things are shaking, all the seed falls on the floor. The squirrel's eating it anyway.
Absolutely. I watched that thing and I knew you used Vaseline. But Vaseline is a petroleum base. Sooner or later, it's going to get full of dirt and dry out. But this thing sprays on. It's supposed to last for 2 years. I said, I got to get a can of that stuff. Because you can spray it all up and down the pole and not have to go and slather it with Vaseline. You know? But so, ladies and gentlemen in the world, these are the important things that we talk about. How to keep squirrels away from the bird feeders. Well, I mean, what do you want to talk about, Mr. and Mr. America? You want to talk about a balloon that flew over the United States and nobody did anything about it until it got off the coast of South Carolina? Want to talk about that? My wife wrote a limerick to that. She says, would you like to fly my communist balloon?
You know, you make a record on that, you'll sell a billion.
Yeah, I'd have a record. They put me in jail.
Just from the immigrants that are coming illegally.
I saw something else you might be interested. Do you know that some of the illegals that were sent to the northern states are so fed up with getting no attention for what they want rather than what the government is giving them, they're going across the border into Canada. I said, we had to build a bridge to take them all the way over there.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If they go to Canada, I hope they never become waiters, because the people in Canada are the worst tippers in the world.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So, Joe, I don't want to be controversial with this. You know, I know that we spoke a little earlier this morning, so I know that you did watch the president's speech last night. Do you have any opinions you'd like to share with the people? Me personally, you know, I didn't waste an hour of my life to watch it, but you may have some opinions on what you want to say to America about that speech.
Well, I have many opinions, Carlo, and the one I could just start out with is that people like us, when we were growing up, we were always amazed, and a lot of people would say, I want to be president when I grow up, because it was an honorable thing with dignity. Somebody who controlled and was the father of our country, taking care of us.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that our president today is not steering the wheel in the country in the right direction. But first of all, I don't even believe he's an American. Well, I believe that anybody that would hurt the American people should never be in office. It's impossible to make us feel like we're protected again. I want to talk about a president that made sense to me, okay? Instead of a president that is a royal joke, what he was yesterday, someone that don't even care about us. And I tell you what, people our age and even younger and older people, they're fed up in this world, in this country. Absolutely. And we have the strongest country in the world, and we're being belittled little by little.
Absolutely.
Now,
look, they had this balloon, they tracked it for over 9 days from before it went on the coast of Alaska. And they tracked it through Alaska, down through the northwestern Canada, into the United States, across the United, where it stood in one place over the nuclear site for 3 days in one place, and then it moved on to other bases. And they waited until it got off the coast of South Carolina, which means they completed the journey and the project. They waited until they get off the coast to shoot it down. And they said, well, we were afraid it might injure people. Well, have you ever heard that, first of all, it fell into a drop zone that was 5 miles square when they shot it down finally. The drop zone was 5 miles square in the water. There are places in Alaska and Canada that are 100 miles squares with nobody living in it. It's the least populated places in the Western Hemisphere. So that's just nonsense. It's a joke. They didn't want to stop it. They let it go all the way through. And then when they went off the coast of South Carolina, they shot it down. But guess what? It had munitions in it to destroy its own equipment. So it couldn't be just a weather balloon. They were hiding what they were gathering.
Of course.
Anyway.
Like I say, the way we sum this up about right now in the country is that, like I said, people are fed up. But the thing is, the people are so in awe about what's next. There's no really positive ever looking forward to or whatever. So to talk about a president like him is useless. But let's talk about a president that, in your opinion, makes sense. Like, let's talk about our Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. Okay, the man was not a politician. No, because he was a patriot. He was a patriot because he loved our country. Before he even became president, they were giving him a fine for flying his flag in Florida,
Right.
in Margo, where he
Yeah.
lives. And he wouldn't take that flag down because he knows he's an American. And let me tell you, the man had a lot of issues, and he probably still does.
Yeah.
But I never, since I could remember, could ever see a president that said he was going to do something
And did it.
And everything, he was right there. This guy could have been in the south of France on a beach chair, didn't need to even be in office. He doesn't do it for the money. He does it because he's a patriot.
Right.
He's a person that loves us,
Right.
the person that loves our country.
Right.
Now, let me tell you, he had a lot of issues, like most men do, but he's only a human being. Yes, he did a lot of wrong things, and a lot of people said he has no class. He's not polished. He's this and that, but he got the job done.
Right.
Now, you go into battle, the guy at the
Right.
front line, he's not polished. He's not clean shaven. He's not nothing, but he's saving your country for you so you don't have to be tormented by another country.
Right.
The idea is Donald Trump was our father of our country, like George Washington was our first father of our country.
Yeah.
George Washington showed he did everything for us. He would never turn his back to us. And the same thing Donald Trump did for us. I don't know why that man is not steering the wheel in our country and protecting the people that he loves.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the people that he loves.
He's making another try. He's going to make another run for it. I don't know whether he'll make it, frankly, because he's lost a lot of his base. But someone who follows his guide, someone who believes in what he believes in, has to get into office. We have to have back a conservative person who knows to say no to this over ridiculous spending that's going on, knows how to be strong internationally against the Chinese and the Russians. We have to have somebody who stands the line. And we don't have that in the White House now. We don't have that in any of their followers now. They are so busy lying about things and twisting things. They don't have the vision or the time to look at the reality of what needs to be done. I mean, would you believe it? Here, he gave the State of the Union address last night, and I watched the news this morning. He was yelled at from the audience in the Capitol building. The people, the senators, the people from the House of Representatives yelled out at him the way they do in the House of Commons in England, saying, "That's not true. You're lying."
I can't
Where
understand.
Did you ever hear such a thing?
I can't. No, I never did. But I can't understand why they can't impeach him. What he's doing now, he's just stepping on us more and more.
Yeah.
It's not going to help this country anymore.
Yeah.
By him running and winning again.
Well,
How could he win again?
Remember
Remember how Obama won again? How is that possible?
Yeah.
He was destroying our country, but he won again, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, that's what
we
that's why-
have an interesting year ahead of us here because he's planning on running. I don't think he'll run with the same running mate. They won't allow him to run with her again because she's a disgrace. And they know that if anything happens, he's 80 years old, he's feeble. He refuses to take a cognizant test. He refuses to take all of his health exams that he's required to take. He didn't take them for 2022, let alone for 2023 yet. So, he violates the law left and right. But they're afraid to, I think they're afraid to depose him because you end up with that woman who really can't, she's absolutely useless. She can't do anything.
She can laugh a lot. Every time
but then
a question, she laughs.
She's useless, absolutely useless.
Of course.
So, And the law says that if he goes, she's there.
Imagine her talking to all the people from different countries, like you said.
Please. Every time she goes over there,
Russia.
she makes it. Every
We'd
time
be
she goes over
bombed in
there, she
one
makes
day.
a joke of herself. Every
I
time
know,
she
that's
goes.
what I mean. She's only joking. It's just it. But you know what? That's why I look in the mirror and laugh in the morning, because I have to take my mind off of this nonsense that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And you said something just a few sentences ago that Donald Trump lost something. Well, you know why? I mean, he had everybody on his team. He knew he was top gun. Okay, he knew he was the guy taking care of everything and had everything working the way he wanted to work it, because he was the man. Yeah. Now, I think that if the United States shows him he's still the man, he'll come back and be himself again. He'll be back on the podium and make sure that he'll do what he says he's going to do.
Yeah,
and that's what we need.
But he's announced he's going to run again, and we know he's going to run again.
But we know we got to make him win.
What he lost in the last year and a half because of the January issue with the White House, the Capitol building, when they took the raid on the Capitol building, he lost a lot of power there, and he lost a lot of power from people who said, he wasn't speaking like a statesman. I would rather have a puncher than a wimp any day. I'm not looking for a wimp who condones the kind of thing that the Chinese are doing and doesn't do anything about it. If it were him, if he were in power, the minute they sailed across the international border of our waters in Alaska, before they even got onto Alaska, he would have shot him down, and I would have cheered him for it. And Ronald Reagan would have done the same thing, because this is our nation. You don't have the right to do those kind of things.
We're not a doormat. We're not a doormat for other countries, and that's what Biden's trying to make us be. Right. We're going to be belittled because of that man.
Yeah. We have to do some closing comments by you. I'm going to leave you a few minutes to say whatever you want, and then I'll do my closing comments. And if Jeremy would like to get in and say, goodbye, folks, we can allow him to do that. We allow him to do that, because I want everybody to see that beard.
He's a great, I tell you, he's a great kid. To me, he's a kid. He just turned 40 years old.
I got shoes older than him.
Yeah, I know. That's my line.
But I really do. I bought shoes. I bought shoes in Geneva, Switzerland in 1979. Formal shoes that I wear for every time I wear my tuxedo. 1979, I bought them in Geneva, Switzerland for $250. I still wear them.
And they're still good.
They're still good. Today, they probably sell for $3,000 a pair, but they're Bally shoes. They're great shoes. I still wear them. 1979. That's before he was born.
I know. Well, we are getting up there in age, but age is just I have to say, the way I look at it, Carl, age is just a number, and mine is unlisted.
Oh, I love that number. I love that line. Every time I see that lady on TV saying that, that's my brother.
I love that.
That's Dumb Beep saying that. He's sitting there and drag with that lady outfit on, but that's Dumb Beep saying that.
I love that line. I think it's so good. If people ask me, how old are you? How old are you? I tell them that. I says it's only a number. And mine is unlisted. You're not finding. And you make them laugh, and they laugh. And you know what? Humor makes it, like I belong to the American Legion. We go there and we have a good time. Like, we know all the people there. They're all old age people like us, and they're all coupled off. And we're all happy to be still together, to dance a little bit. I'm the only guy in the American Legion that's allowed to hold the flag when they sing America. I take the flag out.
But the others can't hold it. They're too old and fall over.
Well, there's a lot of guys younger than me, but for some reason, I'm the guy that grabs the flag. I'm the guy that does it. And the commander says, Giuseppe, you do anything you want. Anything you want, you do in here. And I says, I know that, because this place is for people like us. They make the American Legion for military people.
Right.
That's what it's all about. And talking about military people, let's just go back one step. I know you're short of time, but when you would talk about January 6th, the Capitol, let's be honest. Every military person knows that Pelosi or Mike, the vice president, could have called the National Guard in
Right.
15 minutes.
Absolutely.
They would have had four.
Donald Trump,
plans.
it's on record, Donald Trump told Pelosi the day before to bring the National Guard in.
Of
And
course.
she refused to do it.
What?
The day before.
Because we had to set him up to make him look like a bad guy.
Yeah,
That's
everybody
why I'm
knows that.
saying he lost a lot.
Everybody knows it was a setup.
See, Donald Trump, in my opinion, Carl, didn't just lose the presidency. He lost a lot as the man that was taking care of everything.
Yeah.
You know, like the father of a household?
Yeah.
You can't make him be the baby in a crib now.
No.
He still has to be the father of a household.
Right.
And Donald Trump was the guy that gave us the impression that he was the father of our country now,
Right.
taking care of it by other countries. He knew how to talk to people. Nobody's shooting a missile at us. We'll swipe you right out. He knew how to talk to people. In a way, he was like, in a way, I say, he was like a little soprano. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So that's what I mean. Sometimes you have to show force to make people back away. The guy we got now on steering the wheel for us, he doesn't know how to do that. The man is definitely ruining our country.
Right.
In my opinion, if I was younger and I would start a movement, I would stop all delivery to the White House. This way they know that we mean business. And when they talk about taking away our Social Security, they're not allowed. That's our money.
That's
right. Not their money.
We paid it in, isn't it? This is not a grant like they give it to the.
They try to scare the people.
Our own money back.
But they try to scare the people about
it. You know
that.
Of course. But they've been doing it for 40 years. They've been saying the Republicans want to stop your Social Security. That's nonsense. They can't do it.
It was nonsense. But anyway, we talk politics. We talk this. A couple of jokes. I don't know if to tell you because they're not good jokes to tell you. You know, they're kind of like when we're alone in the backyard type of jokes. You know what I mean?
Well, I was hoping for a little ham and cheese sandwich, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a good joke, a ham and cheese sandwich. But it's just not right now what I feel like telling. I don't feel like
okay. Next time. Okay, that means I have to bring it back a third time.
Oh yeah. Well, I hope I didn't disappoint you this time.
You never disappoint me, Joe.
But I want to lead.
You never disappoint me.
I just want to lead to say one thing to the people that watch your show.
Please do.
I am personally so honored to be on my brother's podcast because he is a man that showed me all his lifetime that he is a go-getter. He never quits. He doesn't say no because sooner or later he'll get what he has to get because God is making it happen for him. And I just wanted the people to know how precious you are to me and all the people that listen to you because we know you're doing this for the grace of God.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. You know, my personal scripture that I walk to all my life is march on, my soul, be strong. I say that virtually every day. I ask the Lord for his guidance and his forgiveness every day. I ask him for one more day of life. And at the end of the day, I do an examination of conscience and I say, how did I do today, Lord? Did I use it wisely? Did I do what you expected? And if I failed, forgive me, you know, because I think it's so important for us to know that we're not in this thing alone. We're just not in this thing. What he does for us is a joy and the strength, but we're supposed to share it and give it to others to make a better world. That's what it's about. So I say every day, march on, my soul, be strong, regardless of what I confront. That's my mantra. That's what I live by. So my dear brother, who I love dearly, and I know so many people who, you know, admire our relationship, I say to them, you just got to give him a big hug. You got to give him a big bear hug and tell him you love him. Every day you got to tell people you love them. It's so important.
So important. It's so important.
You got is one day. This is the only day. You're not promised tomorrow.
No.
You got to tell people you love them. It's so
and you got to tell people, don't be afraid when your time comes and you got to depart from here because you're not going anywhere but a better place. Because the better place is not going to give you aches and pains. You're still people have to realize they're still going to have their spirit. A lot of people don't believe that, but for some reason, it warms my chest just to say it because I know the Lord wants me to say it.
Right.
I really, really admire you and your show, Carl. I'm so proud of you for doing this.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
I appreciate that. I have some great guests lined up for upcoming shows. I'll tell you about them offline because I don't want to say them online in case one of them can't make it. I don't want to make it say that I have this guy coming or that guy, this girl coming, and then they don't show up. But I've got some really great guests lined up, and it kind of amazes me the kind of people that agree to do the show. Really, people who are so busy, have such full lives, that are doing so much. They're such activists for the Lord, and they're such activists for mankind. And yet they say, yes, I'll do your show. I'll give you an hour of my life and do the show with you. Amazing. Really amazing. And I thank God for that.
You know why? Because they know what you're doing is the work of God. That's why you have your show. You don't have that show just for any other reason, not to have people tell you jokes, this, that. It's a Christian show because you want to make people know this is where it's at.
That's right.
And I love you for that. And
I love you too, Joe. So, ladies and gentlemen, I remind you, we do a new show every Wednesday morning. We bring you great guests like Dan Beep over here. And maybe Jeremy will come on the show.
Yeah, Jeremy wants to say goodbye.
You don't even have to trim the beer. Come on. Jeremy, come say hello to the folks before I leave. This is Jeremy. This is Don Beep's technical advisor, Jeremy.
This is my neighbor. My neighbor.
Jeremy, I want to thank you so much for allowing this to happen, because I know if it was up to him, he wouldn't punch the right numbers. He'd have us somewhere else in space. So I thank you for allowing this to happen. Please tell everybody who you are and where you come from.
Well, I'm Jeremy Volcom. I'm from Hopewell, New Jersey. And anytime I'll be his IT guy, get him on here for you.
That's great. I love that you come from Hopewell. That's good. Hopewell, New Jersey.
Outside of Trenton.
Yeah, I know.
And this is Bella.
Hello, Bella. Come fare, Bella? Tutte cose going.
On my dining room table. Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, we got to close it out. Jeremy, thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate you.
God bless.
Joe, love you both. Ladies and gentlemen, come back every Wednesday. Send us a name and address of whoever you want us to talk to. If you want to be on the show, send me your information. We'll talk about it, and you could be on the show. Who knows? But I remind you, you have your own story. Nobody else has that story but you. Make sure you tell it. Write it down. Tell your family, your loved ones, everybody you know. Because when it's too late, it's too late. And all that wisdom that you have to give will be lost unless you share it with someone else. The world needs to hear your story. Tell your story. So I tell everybody, as I do every Wednesday, Baci, love somebody today.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Arrivederci. Ciao. After shooting this video, Giuseppe attended an event honoring Congressman Gus DeLaurentis, and it has to do with the Veterans Administration. While there, Joe noticed a deranged man charging at the congressman through the crowd with his hand in his pocket. Joe instantly went into action, interceded until the man was subdued, possibly saving his life.